What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the red color, playing as Odin. His name is Suppe. His opponent today in the blue color, I'm not 100% sure who he is, but in this game he's calling himself Jaxx, and his name is Hades. No, he's playing as Hades, and his name is Jaxx. He calls himself Jaxx because that's who he is. He also gets a bit of an unfortunate giraffe thing here. And before we talk about the game, I want to tell you about a little cheeky trick you can do with these when this happens to you in-game. What you can do is you can send your Katoskopos, or you can use a villager to come in and hit this even further away. So the way that an animal works is their hunt spawns like this. If they spawn in this box here, then there's a big radius around that box that the animal will be allowed to sit happily in. If that animal goes outside of that radius, it will move all the way back to its starting location. So if you shoot the animal away from where your granary is and you want it to come back to the starting spot, all you have to do is push it out of its home radius and it'll come all the way back. There's your lesson for today. There will be an exam on this in the future, so make sure you study and make sure you're prepared to make that all good and happy. Jaxx has obviously failed his exam and will have to build either a separate granary elsewhere or think about his actions and reflect on himself and see what can happen. Suppe, on the other hand here, he is a classic Suppe. This is just classic Suppe in all of his glory. He has pushed his giraffe over to his ox carts. Suppe is a proponent of saving ox carts. If you can delay ox carts even just a little... No, Suppe, no! I was going to say, if you can delay ox carts even just a little bit, then you get yourself a ton of extra resources. So if it's at all possible to not have to get an ox cart in the archaic age and save it for the classical age, you actually save yourself a ton of resources. And we have seen this is what Suppe's tried to do here. He will indeed have to get himself another ox cart. There was a world here where he probably could have left, like, if that giraffe was underneath this ox cart, he probably could have left like 4 villagers on food, put a ton onto wood while he was advancing, ox cart up here, and then this giraffe wouldn't have been finished by, like, would have finished around 4 minutes when he would have been advanced. But because he's eating it over here, he needs another ox cart. He's having to do some walking time. Things are being a little bit awkward for him. He's going to have to get that one out. So he's losing a little bit of that bonus resources that he got early here. Anyways, that's the early game. So let's talk about this matchup. We do have a fairly spicy matchup. This one here, I'm not sure which way the matchup really goes, because Odin is such a strong anti-Greek god, but Hades is, of the Greeks, a very strong anti-Norse god. So you kind of wrap that around your head the way you will. Like, I think if you think about what Greek is at its base, you got to actually think about Poseidon. Poseidon is kind of the... Like, people might think Zeus is, but Zeus has got its own unique features, whereas Poseidon doesn't really have, it has its identity, but I would say that Poseidon is what is the base for judging whether a civilization is good against that civilization or not. And then you go ahead and you say, okay, well then the other gods have got their little bonuses which help them in certain situations. So Hades is really good at defending over what Poseidon is in the early game because of Sentinels and all that other stuff. So it really, really hurts Norse's chances to get any serious damage done. And then Zeus is like really strong aggressively in the early game. So it's really, really good in certain situations against Norse, but a lot of situations not so good against Norse. So all of those things are possible here. So we'll see what Suppe's going to do. He is scouting around, getting his map hacks out there. He's got his ravens flying overhead on this location here. He still hasn't eaten his giraffe at this point. He is going to the next age through Athena. 4:30 is the advance time. Looks like 4:34, which would normally be the Ajax, but timing, but he didn't build the Ajax, so he just had to wait a little bit to advance there. He's going to throw down his military academy and archery range. Incredibly safe here. really far back. I like these plays with Hades. You want to be playing defensive. Wall this up. Make sure your base is super, super tight. And you're not going to get raided too hard here. Suppe, on the other hand, he's already going to be moving in onto this position. Unlike Zeus against Norse would be able to bolt this, but that's not going to be a chance here. And we are seeing a nice play here from Jaxx Teller right now, moving that Minotaur in, getting a little bit of early damage done onto these villagers, and then we will see some nice micro here by Suppe trying to keep his villagers alive. This villager does get chopped down though. Suppe's not paying attention there as that Minotaur gets 1 kill, and that's going to be more than enough to pay for the lack of Minotaur that's going to be here as it tries to retreat away. The thing is here, the Minotaur has exactly the same speed as a Herser. So this raid from from Jaxx Teller makes so much sense. You come in, you hit this, you walk back, no problems. The Ajax walks in, puts some pressure on. Really, really smart early game here from Jaxx, as Suppe's going to be chasing that one away right now. We are now starting to see some throwing axemen coming out at this point, as the military academy has been spotted. There is no sense in not building throwing axemen in this situation. You make the raiding cavalry to kill the Toxotes. You make the throwing axemen to kill the hoplite. And everybody wins, apart from the Toxotes and hoplites. Everyone's sad about that. But obviously, Jaxx has got the counter in his own army here himself to deal with this. But at this point, he just doesn't have the units out just yet because Suppe advanced a little bit faster, gets going just a little bit quicker than Jaxx in this game. And we are seeing there's a bit of a forest fire, hits a tiny amount of damage onto that villager, almost picks it off, but still okay here as Suppe retreats back. Gets the damage done, loses a raiding cavalry, but every little bit of fighting is good for the Odin player in the early game, as we do see him turning around, going to be trying to snipe a hoplite there. Nice play. He does trade 1 throwing axeman for 1 hoplite. That is a good trade there for Suppe. And Suppe's play style is very much like this. He really wants to get in there and fight. There's a lot of Norse players that just want to play defensive in these situations, which is completely fair and really, really strong. But Suppe isn't one of those. He's like, let me get in there, let me put the pressure on, let me get some good damage done and see how things are going to go. As we do see the archery range coming up over here, houses getting produced as well for Jaxx. As that forest was burned down, that does mean that Jaxx's main base here needs to be sorted out just a little bit more, as we see him dropping down another archery range. As your villages get higher, you need to put more military buildings to spend the resources you're gathering. The other way to play it is to not put these military buildings down and just do more of a semi-fast heroic age, which can work very well as well. As Suppe is doing something very sneaky here. I like this play from Suppe. He's played enough against Greek players to say, or especially against Poseidon and so we see a huge fight here happening. And Jaxx does get out of position, has to cast the restoration, but he's throwing axemen and killing the Toxotes fast, and the restoration is healing them. So the restoration effectively did nothing there, and Jaxx is out. Jaxx is down a restoration, and that's going to be beautiful. Suppe's going to be super happy about that one. As things go on. But I want to go back to these houses because I think this is such a smart strategic play as the heroes are retreating away. Against Zeus, you don't need to do this. You want to put your houses in a nice, safe defensive position in your base. But against Hades and Poseidon, the weakness against the Earthquake is that when your opponent earthquakes your town center, it normally dies, and so too do all your houses. But if you put your houses in the corner of the map, no one's going to earthquake that. No one's going to kill that very often. It's going to be hard for them to kill all these houses, and you're just going to be completely fine when the earthquake comes. And you're just going to lose 20 population instead of literally all your population. Sometimes happens. As the game continues, Suppe in a fantastic position. Jaxx trying to hunt from this spot here. We take a good look at the population. It's 75 to 95. So Suppe is feeling really, really good about this one. Thank you so much for the 17 months, Strauss House. And thank you for the raid there, Punkstar. Hope you guys had a good stream. And thanks for the continued support. As this fight ensuing, the hoplites here, they're doing some nice damage against those raiding cavalry. It's Suppe not microing his raiding cavalry there. But it looks like this is going to be a tough fight for Jaxx to win. We do have the Hades Shades coming in to help out, as well as those villagers getting in onto the back. Going to be sniping down some throwing axemen here as they do a healthy amount of damage. The throwing axemen don't do all too much against those villagers at all, as it looks like Suppe's army size has dwindled down to 67 now. Jaxx, on the other hand, 57. But Jaxx does get those Hades Shades. That's a ton of Hades Shades coming through for Jaxx. And these Shades, while they might not look like they're that good, 7.2 damage is less than a hoplite. 110 HP is a little bit less than a hoplite. But they do have a little bit more armor in the Pierce, which doesn't really have much effect in this matchup. But the most important thing is throwing axemen don't get a bonus against Hades Shades. So they're only doing 4.5 damage to the Hades Shade. So they're really, really good at tanking against this one here. As Jaxx has to retreat. I feel like Jaxx should be probably thinking about sitting in his base at the moment, trying to get to full population, maybe trying to grab a town center that sits on a gold mine if it exists. It doesn't look like there's one that does exist, so maybe just chucking some towers up over here to make sure that this is safe as the game continues wouldn't be a bad play to make sure he just doesn't lose here in this game. As the throwing axe here can be taken out. The Hades Shades, the Toxotes coming in, sniping down these throwing axe, and this can be some of the hardest things to deal with as Norse when you're trying to be aggressive, is that these Toxotes have 15 range, and the throwing axemen only have 9 range. So you can snipe these off really, really easily here. As Suppe's retreating back. We do have a very, very equal population right now as the villagers making their way over onto this gold mine. As Jaxx here, he hasn't really been on top of this scouting situation at this point. So he must have lost his Katoskopos, but that's no excuse. I do think that if you lose your Katoskopos, it's 100% you should get a Pegasus, but even if not, you should probably get a Pegasus anyways. And that way you can see that this gold is here and you could be hitting this, and this would be effectively game over for Suppe if his gold mine was under pressure right now. Now, he does have villagers over here, so he could come over onto this one, just retreat off this gold mine for the time being, but the point still stands here. Jaxx doesn't know where to attack, and maybe he's going to click over here, maybe he's not. He could check onto this location and see that there's dead animals here, but maybe moving it out across the map might be a little bit too dangerous for him. He might be feeling that at this point, but he's not really aware about how far ahead I think his army is at this point, as he's going to just allow Suppe a little bit of time here as the unit's retreating away. Suppe has to be careful which way he retreats here, because if this gold mine gets spotted, things can be very, very dangerous here. As the throwing axeman still doing some nice damage here, but at this point, those raiding cavalry, there's just not quite enough units here, and the Toxotes are just going to start chewing up those throwing axemen really, really fast here. 7.8 damage versus 4.5 damage is a big bonus, or a big advantage for the Hades player, as those throwing axemen do decide to retreat away. As Suppe here, going to be re-healing up that Valkyrie, doing everything that he can here to stay alive, playing incredibly greedy over here. Jaxx just saying, I don't know where to attack, as he's now slightly moving forward. He's playing very, very safe here. He's got tons and tons of these throwing axemen and not a whole lot of hoplites. So there is a world in which Suppe's got a ton of raiding cavalry behind him, but you know, Jaxx just doesn't know because he doesn't have any scout. He doesn't have a Pegasus. I'm just gonna keep saying it. I myself should be building Pegasus. I should be building more Pegasus here. If he saw this army, maybe he wouldn't be moving forward either because of those Valkyrie. He doesn't have his Ajax out. Anyways, as the game moves on, nice little choke point here for Jaxx, but he does decide to retreat back just a little bit, doing a little bit of StarCraft micro there. I don't see that very often. Maybe this guy plays a little bit of Age of Empires 4. It doesn't really do a whole lot for your Toxotes. You can kind of path screw the raiding cavalry a little bit, but we are going to be seeing Jaxx retreating back here. Those medium Toxotes do move a touch faster than the other Greek civilizations at 4.2 instead of 4.0, but they're still going to get kind of chopped up a little bit as the Chiron goes down. You can see that he wanted to build Chiron immediately there, but not enough favor as he throws 2 villagers over onto that location. We do see these relic monkeys coming in, going to be getting a little bit annoying there as the Sentinel's going to deal with that. And Jaxx now sitting in his base here, as so too is Suppe. In these situations, when you're out of food, we are still seeing a little bit of food being grabbed, but Suppe is kind of out of... No, I tell a lie, he's not out of food. He's still got pigs, so I take it all back. Suppe should 100% be going to the heroic age here, whereas Jaxx, on the other hand, he's thrown down all these farms, so it's actually probably worth it for him to be thinking about a second town center here in a lot of the situations you're going to be in. So grabbing this town center at this point to secure this position, throwing some walls up over here, forcing Suppe to be a little bit more passive will be a way forward, as we are now seeing Suppe wants to move around the map looking for some raids with his raiding cavalry. I'm not sure what he's seen over this top side of the map. Maybe he's going to be looking for a raid onto this wood line here, but the wall is going up. It's going to be nice and defensive for him. As the villagers retreating away for the time being, we are seeing these patented Suppe walls. No ends to these walls. I don't know if that makes any sense. Anyways, Jaxx now pushing forward. These throwing axemen are 100% out of position here. As the Toxotes moving in, this wall will get up as these villagers might get spotted. But as this is happening, the raiding cavalry pushing in here are going to be looking for some raids onto these villagers. They do pick off one villager underneath the town center. The raiding cavalry here with the Valkyries going to be very, very helpful here as the throwing axemen getting pushed back. A lot of damage getting done now onto these throwing axemen as the villagers are going to be retreating off of this gold mine and moving forward. This is a very, very risky play, but because it's so risky, it's hard to think that your opponent might do this here. As Suppe's going to be retreating back into his main base, we are seeing more villagers getting taken down as the Valkyries. There's no counter here. The arrows really do barely any damage to these Valkyries as they're just going to be moving around the base, picking off villagers left, right, and center. We are seeing the throwing axemen deciding to turn around on that position there. I feel like Jaxx could continue to take this fight, but he's throwing axemen maybe just a little bit out of position here as more are coming in to reinforce this army. A handful of, or one, I say a handful, just one raiding cavalry coming through here as Jaxx pushes in. The villagers retreating away as the raiding cavalry pull out, and it looks like the majority of those did get taken out here as Suppe is now ready to advance to the next stage. He's got his resources here and he should be clicking up fairly soon. There you go, going through Skadi. Skadi's going to be a big power spike for Suppe at this point. Jaxx, on the other hand, will also be advancing very, very shortly. Still staying on one town center, though. I do love the one town center games. So we'll see how this is all going to eventuate, as Aphrodite is the god of choice here. We are going to be seeing a town center getting grabbed here. Normally, this is fine if you're on farms. If you've got food still, you probably just want to go straight to the Mythic Age and drop an Earthquake. But if you're on farms here, the fooding comes a little bit slower, so you're not going to be able to get the food out to get to that Mythic Age as fast as you want there. As Suppe's advancing now through Skadi, and the units are looking like they want to be very aggressive here as the hoplites sit here standing very attentively trying to pick off these raiding cavalry in the back here. Those throwing axemen doing a lot of damage there as Jaxx is looking for the raids. He has no idea where Suppe is. Suppe's genius. The genius of Suppe. Go where your opponent hasn't scouted at all. There's no way for him to check that as the town center does get up, and Suppe is now heavily out of position, though he's going to be just happily taking this fight underneath the town center here as the throwing axemen are now starting to get a little bit in a scary position here as the Toxotes coming through. We do see an immediate curse here. I feel like that might have been a little bit of an overkill, as also his throwing axemen probably would have fallen there for not too much. As Jaxx coming through, he's now got his Nemean Lion here, and Suppe here. What is his plan? He needs to start those villager production back up, thinking about second town centers, getting a hill fort and all the other good stuff as the villagers moving in, and that's going to be, to me, what looks to be a frost hitting a handful of villagers over here. He doesn't hit the wood villagers. That could have been even more, but look at that. That's 14 idle villagers, 15 idle villagers there for Jaxx, plus the Toxotes, plus everything else. And the raids can continue while this is going on, but there are still a handful of units over here, and Suppe is happily going to be taking this fight right now as he moves in. He's got his Frost Giant here. He has frosted the heroes at this point, and those units are just going to be retreating back here, and we'll see how things are going to happen as the Achilles moving in. That will be able to take down the Frost Giant as it's going to be retreating back. And let's check out Jaxx at this point. He needs to get himself irrigation as fast as possible. He throws up the market. He can sell some wood at this point. But his economy is hurting just a little bit from that one. But he does have the 2 town center advantage, so he should be able to make up for it while Suppe is taking his time to drop his town centers, and he still hasn't got himself a hill fort. There it is. As I say that, he drops it, and he will be able to get himself the Huskal here. But I imagine that Jaxx will be starting up on those. We're still actually just making hoplites. I would have assumed that he would have been starting up on those Hypaspists, as the Hades Shade finally spots the gold villager mining, the gold mining operation. The Toxotes looking like they want to get over there into that location. As the raiding cavalry going to be sniping down these heavy Toxotes a little bit. Toxotes are a little bit winning over there because they have the numbers advantage by quite a bit. As the hill fort is up, the dwarves retreat back. And we'll see where to next, as we do see Suppe dropping the marker down in the corner. That indicates one of two things. Either A, he wants to go for a Ragnarok, getting his trade route started really early, which actually makes a lot of sense on this map. You can see this gold mine is going to be expired soon. And he's going to be able to hit a rag that hits this gold, this gold, this gold, this gold, and get a gold staff here. Or alternatively, too, he just wants to go for the Thimble Winter with a decent trade route, that's the thing. Anyways, Suppe retreating back with his villagers. He does have this gold mine over here. He could move these villagers off of the wood line and chuck them onto gold, put these villagers over here onto wood, and he would be able to jump on over here very quickly, but not happening just yet, as we do see the military academies coming up for Jaxx, ready to start spamming out those heavy Hypaspis. Are they heavy, or are they just unupgraded? Those unupgraded Hypaspis, obviously they're very, very good. You see the relic monkeys getting sniped over there. As the town center for Jaxx are going to be going up. Lots of resources in the bank here in terms of wood and gold. We'll see what he wants to do with that. Oftentimes here, when you do go 3 town centers in the classical age or heroic age with Greek, even if you do have irrigation, you kind of need to go up to like 30 or 40 villages on food to support the Hypaspis spam you're going to be needing to do, because we see the Huskal coming out, and those are scary. Huskal are scary, and we do see the trade route started. Now, this is something that I actually really, really like, and I think that players should start doing it a little bit more. If you're in the heroic age, you don't need to get a second town center to get extra villages. You can get this market, and a quicker bit of math for it is that if you're in the heroic age, if you've got the market going down, that's 300 wood. So you're already saving 400 resources on grabbing a town center, plus the villager idle time on that town center going up. I mean, obviously with Norse, it's not that big of a deal, but you save the villager idle time. So you really get 4 free ox caravans, and then the next 8 would be equal in terms of where you would be at an equal stage if you just go for the market strategy first, and then you can save on shaftbind and potentially quarry as well, and just say I'm going to go straight for the trade route instead of getting my upgrades, and you save resources there, and you can find yourself in a really good position here. As we are seeing Jaxx now trying to push forward. He's pushing forward underneath 2 hill forts. Nice marker there by Suppe, trying to get those Huskals onto the back there through the hill fort. As Jaxx says, he's ready to fight, but I think Suppe is more than defensible here, as Jaxx is throwing a lot of his units away here. He's gonna have to retreat back, as those hill forts they do a lot of damage. That's 30 damage per second, and there were two things there. Nice play by Suppe, as Suppe's grabbing this location over here. He's throwing the walls up, getting his ox carts out. He's getting 2 ox carts down. This is going to be a huge economic Suppe here, as Jaxx is going to be looking at this being like, look at me, I've got 3 town centers. I should have such an advantage, but it's actually not the case here in the slightest, as Jaxx is pulling back a little bit here. The thing that is a problem for Suppe is he does need to get himself another town center and fortified town centers. And as I say that, he just grabs both of them in the same time. But Jaxx has got all the population here at the moment, so he can continue to push forward. But the hill forts are just too good over here. These 3 relic monkeys they're actually being very, very annoying. They don't cost any population. They can come in here and pick off a villager or 2. The villagers do shank back nicely, 5 damage only. So I mean, they're going to be a continual threat throughout this game, just being very, very annoying. Now, if you are Jaxx in this position, there's 2 options. One is go heroic mythic age here, which we are seeing. He's going through Hephaestus, which is a bit surprising to me. The other is actually a hill fort at this point to push through these, not hill fort, a fortress to push through these hill forts. And if you do that, then you can start making your way into this town center and feeling good about yourself there. As Suppe, on the other hand, the real question is, he's got a huge economy. How can you not go for Ragnarok here? Now, you don't have to click Ragnarok straight away, mind you. You can go for a Titan Ragnarok if you feel like you can't win in these positions, because you know you're not going to get pushed too hard. Your opponent's gone Hephaestus, so you know you're not getting pushed too hard. You've got the trade route already set up, so your economy is going to be banging, and then you just get all your technologies, you let your opponent push you in a little bit, and then you rag, you push forward, you get your Titan out, you win the game. Maybe. Maybe, just maybe, maybe not. As yet again, we're still seeing the hill fort helping out a ton in these fights. These Jaxx Teller units are really, really strong here. Suppe here he's actually decided to not go to the next stage in favor of getting some technological upgrades here, as he's starting to upgrade those armory upgrades. We see probably most likely Jaxx has got no armory upgrades just yet, because he wants to get Forge of Olympus and get as much bonus out of that as possible. 80% of the way through there. Villager's going to be finishing up on this gold mine, as the trade route has not started, but he can chuck it up basically right now, as this is going to be a bit of a problem for Jaxx, as he doesn't know where he doesn't really have a good gold mine to go to. This gold mine over here, not really great. This one over here, maybe if he can kill off this this hill fort over here, it might make it work, as that Mythic Age does hit. Forge of Olympus on the way. Plenty Vault coming down to boot. More military buildings getting thrown down here, as Jaxx does have to retreat back here, as Suppe is now full villagers, full happy, still pumping those ox carts, as these units going to be retreating back ever so slightly. Not getting any armory upgrades anymore. We do see a hill fort onto this position, as the Jarls want to push through this this gate over here and try and put some pressure onto the only gold mine remaining for Jaxx. As we do see these relic monkeys onto the top side of the map, the wall's starting to come out. We do already have ourselves stone walls here, as this hill fort is not going to get up in time. We do see the Perseus coming through. That's going to be an immediate snipe there onto the Frost Giants. But, oh, nice play there by Suppe, separating that. The villagers have been pulled off that gold mine there, as it looks like all those throwing axemen will get cleaned up. As Suppe now, he can advance. We'll see which one he's going to be going through in the near future. And he does choose Tyr. This is a surprising turn of events, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it's Hades. Yes, it's scary to go Balder here, but you don't need to go Balder to click Rag straight away. You can go Balder, go Mythic, go Titan Age. You can go Balder, just make a ton of Fire Giants here. You can go Balder, you can make Balder Rams, all of this other stuff. But I think that Suppe wants to say, I'm just going to beat this guy straight up in the late game. He's going to try and secure the entirety of this map with walls. We are seeing Jaxx trying to do exactly the same thing here. But the problem for Suppe is, and this is a Norse specific problem, when you go for the late game, in order to get to the late game, you actually have to go up to like 100 and around about 100 or 120 villages, depending on how the game is actually going, which means you don't have a lot of population left for your army. And the reason you need to do this is because you need to get all your upgrades, and your upgrades are really tough to get. And then after you get your upgrades, you can just shoot right back down to 60 villages, and you do that by converting into Olfsarks and getting mini rags all over the place here. As we'll see if that's exactly what Suppe's plan is here, but things are going to be looking very, very tough for him, as the Raven does spot these villages looking idle at this point. And Jaxx might be looking to grab this town center, or this gold mine in the middle of the map, as the Colossus pushes forward. It's going to be able to snipe down this hill fort right now. Now seeing the relic monkeys trying to push through on this location. The Heliopolis coming out for Jaxx at this point here as well. As this hill fort not quite down just yet, but Suppe casting himself that Thimble Winter here. He needs to get himself immediately the coinage upgrade, immediately all of his upgrades here, his armory upgrades, his technological upgrades at this point. As we do see the Olfsarks coming in onto this position, going to snipe down so many villages here of Jaxx, as we see the watchtowers coming in onto this position. Beautiful play by Suppe, as he's trying to be full pressure, and Jaxx is not paid attention over here, as he is getting attacked on multiple different locations here, as the middle of the map not that important anymore, says Suppe. Suppe wants to play around the sides of the map right now, as though nearly all those villages go down. Suppe can wall the rest of this off, move back into the middle. Jaxx's army is gigantic though, but he does need to start a trade route, and he needs to start it now, because he needs that economy to catch up to Suppe. Suppe's economy is gigantic at this point. As now we see the Fenris Wolf brood raids about to start. Whether or not these are actually full raids or simply just to be dealing with the heavy Hypaspist, that will be the confusion here. That will be the one, and we see Suppe going, look at this. Hill fort on the side, potential bravery coming through, or alternatively, he could just set the walls up, the towers up, and the ballista here to siege this town center, and that can be a very, very difficult thing to push through. Now, we do already have the fortress on this position by Jaxx. Jaxx has no idea that this is coming up over here, as now he knows it's here, as the Ulfsark pushing in onto this position right now. We see the units pushing through over here. They do see the trade route. That's so many units here for Jaxx. Suppe needs to do something special here to hold. He's trying to throw down these hill forts as best as he can. He's got 4 Fenris wolves. He wants more than that at this point, as his trade route is starting to get destroyed here. The villagers repairing this one back up as a Heliopolite coming over here. We are seeing engineers coming through as portable ram are getting trained here. These Ulfsarks going to clean this one up over on this position. So we've got plenty of resources to just convert everything at this point. Now we've got 6 Fenris wolves. If he picks off that Achilles, it's only got 48 HP remaining, and he can just snipe that down here, and that's exactly what he's going to be going for, as that Achilles will fall very, very fast. And now those Fenris wolf broods are going to be able to go to town on the rest of these units, and Suppe should be completely fine here, as his hill fort just about to be has been kept alive here, but the upgrade has come through now for Suppe. He's about fully upgraded, you have to assume here, as he's, well, no, not armory wise, but Jaxx on the other hand, if we take a look at his armory upgrades, look at that. He's got full iron basically. He's just waiting on the iron pierce armor here. There's more villagers getting taken down. I think Suppe's not going to be too unhappy about this, as he would have converted them to Ulfsarks anyways, but he does need some more gold here in this game. He does have a gold mine over here and over here, as his trade route is still, I mean, it's still operational. Does he have himself coinage? Yes, he does. There's another hill fort coming up over here, as Jaxx, I mean, his economy is in full pain mode right now. So losing all of these units is really not something that he can handle here, as he's trying to inflict damage onto Suppe's economy. But little does Jaxx know, this is not going to help him in the slightest, as Suppe is, well, I mean, Suppe's got plenty of trade caravans, but yeah, Suppe's fine. Suppe's fine economically here. He just needs to sell some resources or something, and he should be able to get himself back into this game. As we do see a Perseus coming through, so got to be careful about that one with the Fenris wolves, as the hill forts are up here. I wouldn't mind seeing some walls over here as well, as this Heliopolis, or Heliopoli, I should be, coming in onto this position. As the Huskar going to try and take these down. We've got a handful of Hypaspists coming over here to snipe these down. Nice play by Jaxx, as he's going to clean up this side build over here. And if you take a look at Jaxx's perspective, he's got pretty good control over his side of the map. There is this problem yet again where this gold mine's about to expire, so he might want to push through and try and secure this gold mine over here. He still hasn't started a trade route, but Jaxx is going to be cleaning up this hill fort over here, and he should be relatively okay here going forward, even though he's a little bit behind on the score. As we see the Perseus about to get sniped. Where did those Fenris wolves go? Looks like they're sitting back waiting to pick off that Perseus first, and then he's going to push through. This is really smart by Suppe, as if he can snipe the Perseus, those wolves are going to be very, very useful. But he's sitting here idle with 3 population Fenris wolves isn't the best idea. I mean, maybe you could move over and like raid something or something like that. As a Heliopoli going to be pushing through here, cleaning up all of this side build over here. Suppe's got a lot of resources in the bank in terms of buildings, so really he could spam a whole bunch of longhouses here and have a really, really good time. But not doing that just yet, as Jaxx's economy looking nice and healthy here. He's got champion upgrades. He's fully upgraded here. He just wants to sort himself out. I think a really easy way forward now for the Hades would be to simply go for a Titan and really ask the question of the Norse player. How are you going to get a Titan here? Do you actually have the economy to chase me? As he gets as effectively the Hades player pays for the Titan while he's building the Titan with the idle villagers, whereas the Norse player pays for the Titan up front by converting villagers into Ulfsark and just giving yourself a little bit more population that way to play with. And Suppe we'll see how it's all going to go over here. We do see the Relic Monkeys coming up onto this location yet again as the Fenris Wolves going to come through and take down these Heliopoli very, very fast. We do see the Perseus coming in here. Now, if you do see the Perseus here, simply just snipe that bad boy down because he will probably, I mean, he's actually going to start just taking this fight and that's going to die anyways. So now the Fenris Wolves can continue Fenris wolfing here as Suppe's economy now looking a little bit small. Look at that, 35 on food, 19 on wood, 0 on gold, but it's a trade route, so it's probably looking like 20 to 30 ox caravans there. He probably wants about 30 ox caravans, to be honest, and maybe like 20 villages on food here. But he'll sort that out at some point, I'm sure. As we'll see what Suppe's plan is now going forward. This location does seem like the best one to go after, but if you take a look at the map, you can actually push in over here as well and break through this wall and then start spamming buildings in this location as well there. So there are a lot of options here as the Fenris Wolf raids coming through for Suppe, going to look to take down these villages. There's no real hero presence on this location, and honestly, sacking these Fenris Wolves here and picking off, say, 10, 20 villages is really, really going to hurt Jaxx at this point, as that's seemingly looking like exactly what Suppe wants to do with those Fenris Wolf broods there. As still haven't seen any attempt to come back over onto that location. I would love to see Suppe putting some more effort into side builds at this point, but he is trying to set up on the middle of the map, realizing no gold remaining here for Jaxx. That's a win condition here, if you ask me. But the question is going to be, can Suppe really hold Jaxx back on this position or not? Because, I mean, Jaxx is Hades. Hades has got the ridiculously strong Toxos at 11.05 damage per second versus the champion throwing axeman with only 6.3 damage. Also, still not fully upgraded. Still don't have Huntress axe just yet. So Suppe really needs to get that economy into gear here, as the Heliopolis is going to be sniping down the watchtower over there. And we'll see how things are going to be moving along in this game, as, I mean, really, Suppe, the last thing Suppe wants to get into in this matchup is going to be a head-on-head collision going forward. Whereas Jaxx is just going to be super happy here. He's going to be like, yeah, well, let's fight. I'm happy to fight. Well, firstly, he's got the armory advantage, but also he's got the civilization advantage here. So if you really want to set up on this position here, I just saw someone in the chat say this, Luther de class. You want to make Ballaster. You want to make Ballaster here because there's no way for the Hades player to push in against like mass Ballaster on this gold mine. And then we see if you're going to be okay in that situation. So we'll see how everything's going to go, as the Longhouse getting thrown down over here at Hillfort on the way, as well as Suppe's going to be retreating back here. He's still lacking in the population for some reason. He's trying to pump out the correct units here to fight, trying to work out the unit composition here, but in all honesty, the unit composition you need to make is towers. You need towers at some point. As Jaxx pushing through here, we do see the walls coming up over here as this gold mine is attempting to be denied, as I think they did manage to pick off one wall, but more walls coming up. Suppe just says, no, not today. You don't get this gold mine, not today. I'm surprised that this one hasn't been attempted here by Jaxx here, as Jaxx has got like next to no resources in the bank, but his army is just not dying in the slightest. So it's a battle of the never-ending army versus the never-dying army. So that's a thing. As Suppe's just like, tons of resources. Does he have no buildings or something? Has he lost all his military buildings? Like one unit here for Odin, which I think that Suppe is undervaluing, is the Ulfsark. If you get yourself Berserker Gang and Lone Wanderer, look at this Ulfsark just for a second. 12.6 damage. If he goes mass Ulfsark here, he will win this fight. With like, I mean, there's no real Hippaspis here at this point. So if he just makes like a whole butt ton of Ulfsark, he'll be able to surround this army and kill it all off. But I guess at this point, seemingly looking like Suppe is able to do this as well. And Suppe's economy is still hurting just a little bit, it seems, as he's trying to build even more ox caravans moving forward here. As it seems like Jaxx now, he's got his trade routes set up. He doesn't need gold anymore. His economy is hurting a little bit, so he does have to be very... Beautiful micro by Suppe there. He does have to be a little bit careful taking these fights because he can't repopulate all too well. If you take a look at the economic upgrades, he still doesn't have himself flood control. And this is something that naturally happens. Not really. I mean, you don't really have an excuse not to get flood control, but it can be tough as Suppe decides it's time to go wonder, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see if he's going to be able to get this up or not. Thank you so much for the tier 1 there, Margalo. Appreciate you, my friend. We'll see if this is going to work for him. Suppe, I mean, he basically just needs to convert villages into Ulfsarks. So say he's sitting at... Well, actually, let's just take a quick look at his civilian unit count here. Civilian unit count, he is at 95. So if he converts himself, say, 15 Ulfsark, then he will get himself 7 extra population for his main army while still being able to get the Titan Gate up. And he really doesn't need this many villages at this point because he's really got plenty of resources. So he could probably even convert like 30 villages, especially all food villages, into Ulfsark here. Build the Titan Gate and be completely fine. These villagers trying to snipe through this location, but Suppe is fully set up over here. All he needs now is like a portable ram or something to knock down this stone gate fast, and then he can push in and sit in this location and do the same thing over there. This is the beauty of Norse late game. As you can see, he's just pushing around the map everywhere. And for Jaxx, he just doesn't have the resources to invest into like those little mini one villager kind of side builds that the Greek players, Egyptian players, Atlantean players need to do here just yet. He's still going to have to wait for that as the Titan comes through. And you cast this one here. These villagers going to garrison, and he's going to pop them out over here. Plenty of resources here. Going to make 20 Ulfsarks to get this town, this Titan Gate up. Now it's at 120, 170 population. And this will give Jaxx a little bit of reprieve while this Titan goes up. So the question is, can Jaxx afford to get his own Titan Gate here during this situation here? Because like, I mean, he's still training these donkey caravans. This wall is getting broken down as Suppe's trying to break through here. We see him pulling back here ever so slightly, bringing the hoplites into this hill fort area. We do see these Heliopoli going to be cleaning up the longhouses over here as well as the walls coming through here. These villagers need to take down the Ulfsark here that does now have Berserker Gang looking mightily strong here. Beyond all of this, you do still have, once the Titan is up, all these Ulfsarks still exist. So he can still use those really, really easily as Suppe's just got tons of resources at this point. He might even want to just convert all these villages into Ulfsark as well to throw into this position. But now there's a healthy amount of Hapaspist here, making it a little bit scary for Suppe as he's still trying to push in over here. A tower over here will disrupt this trade route. So this is going to be a very, very scary situation for Jaxx to be in if he doesn't deal with that anytime soon. But meanwhile, we're seeing this problem for Suppe while he's getting his Titan up is he doesn't have the population to fight this back. I mean, not only that, but he's also got units kind of all over the place here. As you can see, 19 villagers left on food and a ton of villagers on wood over in this corner. Suppe needs a little bit of help here to take down these Heliopolis. If he loses this town center, things might be a little bit challenging here for Suppe to recover. As I mean, we're also seeing villagers getting rebuilt here by Suppe as well, which maybe he doesn't need to do just yet. As the units pushing through, we see the town center is effectively going down here as fortified walls is through. These walls are not quite all the way up for Jaxx just yet, but this is terrifying situation to be in for a Norse player. If you lose your town center as a Norse player, it's the worst thing. I think Norse is the hardest civilization to make a comeback, or the worst civilization, I should say, at making a comeback at being 2 to 4 town centers down. If you're 2 to 3 town centers down, it's still possible, but we'll see if Suppe's got what it takes here. He will have a Titan, so that's going to help him out a little bit to reprieve some pressure. But, I mean, the problem with the Titan is that it costs 20 population as well, so technically Suppe drops down to one town center with that Titan here. So we'll see how it's all going to go. We are seeing the towers going up on this position. Suppe is unrelenting on this position, trying to get himself this watchtower up and everything else that's going to be happening here. We are seeing the Heliopolis going to be making its way up to the top side of the map. Suppe can very, very easily take these villages off of wood at this point. Plenty of wood income. Does not need all of this income anymore, as the Titan is now at 88% here. Jaxx, on the other hand, will start finding some food income, I'm sure, as he's not losing units anymore, so that food and wood will come up. But like, I mean, actually, if you take a look at the villager problem here for Jaxx, he's got only 9 villagers on wood, so I'm not sure he's going to get the wood anytime soon. But we'll see how things are going to go as the trade route is starting to get destroyed. The Titan comes out here for Suppe. It's not often you get to see a Titan from the Norse coming out, and I do reckon the Norse Titan's got the best animation popping out of that underworld there, as it's going to move forward and try and take down this location over here. Suppe's now got tons of these Ulfsark over here on this position. We'll see if he's going to be able to get his town center up. 20 Ulfsark do shoot up a town center absurdly fast here. Let's look at the resources for Suppe in the bank. He has effectively got infinite resources here, ladies and gentlemen, as the Ulfsarks pop onto this one, trying to get it up as fast as he possibly can. The Heliopolis is here to deny this one for the time being, so I mean, Suppe needs to deal with that, but looks like Jaxx isn't paying attention, too busy trying to deal with everything else on the map as the Titan is going to be moving forward. We see the Heliopoli popping back here now. We do know, you should be aware, the Titans are not the best against Greek, because Greek have got these Heliopoli that shoot 3 projectiles, which means that if the minimum damage is 1, they are going to be dealing 6 damage. But it's not 1. They're doing something like 2 damage a shot, and they do roughly 10 damage an attack against this Titan here, because the Titan's only got 89% crush armor, so the crush kind of carries through, as 21 crush is going to be roughly 2 damage there. So 3 damage a projectile, or 3 damage a second, I should say. 3 damage per second there from those projectiles is basically what happened here. As the Ulfsark coming through, going to start taking down these units here. As we do see the Castrophetes are out. Does he have Beast Slayer? I think Beast Slayer is it available? No, it's available. Beast Slayer is a way to make these Castrophetes deal even more damage against the Titan. As now Suppe's got his town center back, setting up in the middle of the map here as these Ulfsark, they are mightily scary here. 5.28 speed, 14.4 damage per second. Compare that to the champion Hoplites, only 12.8 damage per second. They got a little bit less HP, but only by 30. So in effect, Ulfsark, they actually, when they are fully upgraded, especially if you get Swine Array to boot, you get even closer to the Hoplites armor here. They've got a little bit less hack armor. He does have full armory upgrades, a little bit less hack armor, but they are comparable to these Hoplites, and they train incredibly fast here. As this Titan is going to move forward and definitely be able to, at the very least, take down this town center and give Suppe an opportunity here to push forward. Is Suppe going for the side builds while this is all going on? No. He is saying, I've got the advantage here. As we do see the Perseus coming in, going to be taking down one of those Frost Giants. Nice play there by Jaxx, getting that unit out and not losing it, to be honest. As the Titan pushes through here, the villagers, not the villagers, the Hoplites and the heroes, putting all the pressure onto this location. As we do see, look at that smash damage there. We see a little bit of a ghost building there by Jaxx, as Suppe says, I want to kill off these units here. I don't really care about anything. I don't really want to kill off the town center. I don't know why, but he will be taking down that military academy, making his way in onto the town center, still taking more damage, already half HP'd at this point here, as Suppe is making his way forward. Jaxx's economy here sitting fairly fine, but look at this. Secrets of the Titans himself coming through here, and we'll see if he's going to be able to get this up or not. The Titan is awfully close to his base, but here's the thing. If the Titan comes down, if Suppe's Titan falls here, and Jaxx get his Titan up, can Suppe deal with the Titan himself or not, is the big question. As Jaxx looks like he's just about able to take this down. Does he have that Beast Slayer technology? Yes, he does. So those Castrophetes, they're dealing 7 crush, 15.2 damage per second, time 50%. So they're doing a ton of damage to the Titan here as it's getting closer and closer to falling. Now the question here is, once the Titan falls here, for Suppe, Suppe's going to have an influx of 20 population here, and Suppe's got plenty of resources. And look at this. Not only is the Titan going to fall, but I imagine Suppe is going to convert all of these villages into Ulfsark and have a tiny villager Ragnarok here. He has to time it correctly though. So once the Titan dies, as we see the fortified wall here getting broken down as the Titan wants to get into his opponent's base here, but maybe Suppe just wants to go without the villager Ragnarok and just rush straight in onto this location right now. I do think that the idea would be to go to like effectively like 180 population. So you lose the Titan, produce all the units, then make the Ulfsark, but this Titan just is not falling here. We're going to see the Titan attempt to take down the Heliopolis here as the villagers do make it in onto this location. That's 15 villagers here from Suppe ready to be Ulfsarks as he does do that there, trying to take down the Heliopolis here as his Titan is just about to fall. 90 HP remaining as the town center on the way. We'll see if he's going to be able to get it up. It's going to be really, really tough to get this one up as Jaxx has got himself Gastrophetes and everything. There's the Titan Gate now getting dropped down as Jaxx does it in the correct order. Take the Titan down, then put your Titan Gate up as Suppe says, I need this town center. I need it now. And we'll see how it's all going to go here as, I mean, effectively, Suppe's got infinite resources here in the food and gold category as his units are trying to carry through here. We've got some portable rams coming in onto this location. I love this play from Suppe as he's moving in around over here as the villagers coming through. These Ulfsark can come in and snipe those down as the fortified gates over here going to get broken down as these markets are not going to be long for this world here. That's going to put a stop to Jaxx's gold economy, but Jaxx does have plenty of gold in the bank for the time being here. As the tower does go down, do we see bravery in? Yes, we do. These Huskar are going to be doing tons of damage here. As the walls are down, that's going to put a complete stop to the trade route. Now, you can start the trade route over here or something if you really want to, but we'll see what Jaxx's plan is here. As the Gastrophedi are all out, he's going to take down these hill forts very, very fast. For some reason, Suppe deciding he doesn't want to spend the time on that. Maybe the Rams can sneak around here and try and take down the Titan Gate, or at least delay it for a little bit. It's definitely an option here for Suppe, as Suppe's trying to figure out his way into his opponent's base. This is effectively deathmatch now. So portable ram rates are really, really strong, and we do see these fortresses getting taken down very, very quick by Suppe's portable rams. The ram raids are always going to be fun. 10 portable rams here, breaking that down. We'll see if he's going to go for that town center or not, as the not town center, go for that Titan Gate or not, as it's still looking very scary for Suppe. I'm scared for Suppe because he's been playing this one so well, but one Titan is very, very tough for a Norse player to deal with. You don't have the bonkers strong Heliopoli that can take this down, as the donkey caravan is going to be looking to try and get a little bit of path blocking action going on. As Suppe cannot get in here. It could be time for him to go for this town center at this point. As you can see, where is Suppe's population? Is it all just in this? No, Suppe's dropping down a little bit here, trying to make some more units. Well, it looks like it's going to be a Titan out for Jaxx, and it's going to be all down to Suppe's kind of management of his army going forward. The big win for Suppe at this point is that he's got a lot of resources. So he's going to be able to lose town centers and put them back up while dealing with the Titan and all the other good stuff. Now, the other thing here is that Suppe could ignore the Titan and just try and kill off the Hades base with portable rams while Jaxx doesn't have the population to really support an army or anything. So that's another option here. As we do see this market coming up over here, as the units still trying to pick off all these things. The markets here are open for Jaxx to start up again, as Suppe has allowed his kind of corner infiltration to get dealt with here. As the portable rams still picking off buildings left, right, and center. Look at all these walls coming up. Very chemo-esque here, as the Titan does jump out, ready to get involved in the game. The villagers back onto the farms immediately here, as Jaxx going to be moving forward with that Titan, going for something to kill. And Suppe, on the other hand, what is his plan? Jarls? Frost Giants? Great plan. Jarls get bonus damage against Titan. It's a myth unit. But is it going to matter that much? Because it's only one damage type. If the Jarls had like one crush damage, they would do so much more damage to the Titan. It's just the way that it works. As these portable rams are going to be trying to push through here, taking down buildings and everything else. You see the rams retreating back as the villagers trying to get into this one. There's more rams coming through. Now, rams aren't the best against Titan either, because they don't have any pierce damage or hack damage. If they had like one hack damage, for example, they would do a ton more damage against the Titan. Which actually could be a fairly significant buff there for the portable rams, but you can just make yourself, what are they called? Baluster, in order to do this, as these rams pushing in, ready to take this town center down, as the Titan going to come back and try and deal with these, but like, he doesn't do that much damage to the rams here, as Suppe manages to just say, I don't care about your Titan, I'm taking your town center down. This wall over here trying to get destroyed, as well as this portable ram going to be destroying the market in the corner. Still got more pressure coming in as the baluster getting spawned in onto this position. The town center attempting to get rebuilt, as we see for some reason Suppe decides to take down the armory over here. If you grab all of these rams and just right click over here, you can kill this town center off as well, I'm sure. And while all these distractions are coming in, Suppe could be thinking about taking these Gastrophetes out and then putting this town center up himself. And he does indeed decide to send a handful of those rams over here as the units are continuing to push through here. Jaxx needs to figure out a better way to utilize this Titan going forward here, because sitting defensively is not going to cut it, as Suppe is just going to be all over the map here. We'll see how it's going to go, as we do have the baluster in, getting a little bit of damage done over here, preventing the town center from coming up. A wall or two, putting a box around these baluster would effectively keep this town center down forever here, unless the Titan came in and dealt with it, I guess, as these Gastrophetes over here are getting finished off. Now the question here is, Jaxx, he does have good resources. That gold is a finite resource, to be sure. As you see the portable rams destroying these markets. This market's got only 131 HP remaining. Can definitely be taking that out fairly soon here as well. There's more military buildings are getting taken down, and that's actually a difficult thing for Jaxx to recover from, because he doesn't actually have any wood left in his base, it seems. So he can't rebuild his military buildings. So funnily enough, this is actually a really good strategy from Suppe to take down all of these military buildings. Meanwhile, Suppe still hasn't tried to get this town center up. The portable rams getting involved with taking this Titan down, as the unit's going to continue to flow in onto this position. Look at how few villagers Suppe has. He's got himself 16 food, 20 wood, and a ton of box caravans. Just to check this out for your own sake in the late game, because you don't get to see this very much from Norse players. You can see this. It is 66 civilian count with all of these resources in the back. So Norse, once you get to the late game, 60 village-ish, that's all you need. Keep that number in the back of your mind to be aiming for in the late game. As this Titan is finally starting to get a little bit of stuff done. We do see a cheeky wall getting thrown up over here. This wall getting thrown down yet again on this position, as the villagers still managing to, the trade route still managing to go here. This has got 130, just kill the market. Stop the trade route. There's now Jaxx seemingly getting his town center back up here. And he is going to be able to maybe find his way back into this game, as Suppe is retreating ever so slightly here after all is said and done. But he is pushing through on this side as well. Breaks down this guard tower. Going to be looking to push in and take down some more military buildings on the top side of the map here. As Jaxx pushing through, he's got to think that going after this town center has to be the way forward. We are seeing the Jarl chasing this one down. You can see it does roughly 5 damage a shot. It's not bad. But that Titan is now going to start becoming a bit of an issue here for Suppe. As I was saying, it's very tough to deal with this. We are seeing the relic monkeys going to come in here as well.
Yeah.
And effectively, Suppe here is going to have to build a whole bunch more. Oh, that's not necessarily need to build villages, but he needs to get some units out here to rebuild those town centers once they go down. Otherwise, it's going to end up being 2 town centers to 2 town centers, 1 town center to 2 town centers, that kind of thing. As we do see the market has been destroyed here. Jaxx has got plenty of gold in the bank for the time being here. Short a house or something, has to rebuild that one. He's got it clicked over there, not really paying attention on that one. As we do see the town center for Suppe is going to be going down. We are seeing this is a nice unit composition here. Frost Giants, not a bad idea. I was actually thinking that another option here would be to get Fenris Wolves out, because the bonus... Wait, do they deal crush damage at all? No crush damage. So maybe Fenris Wolves aren't the best, but they can chase the Titan and path block the Titan nicely here, as the Titan is slowly getting taken down. And we do see Suppe taking this opportunity to grab the forward town center here. I like that there. Only 5 units on it at the moment, though, as he's distracting nicely the army. As I don't think that farm gives any line of sight, or it does give line of sight. So he will see this town center is going up over here as the Titan cleans up a hill fort. Taking down those buildings is very, very helpful there, as Suppe can just simply make a infantry unit here and get that town center back up. We are seeing some longhouses getting thrown down first here, as down to 2 town centers apiece, but Jaxx here, 100 population, is losing houses. He's in a lot of pressure as the infantry trying to defend this position, but the town center ends up coming up over here as the units here for Suppe holding on to this position as best as they possibly can. And the Titan going to be jumping up and getting some big damage done here. As the town center going to be attempting to come back up. It's just going to be a matter of time. This Titan will eventually die here. But the question is going to be, can Jaxx use the time to get himself back into an equal position here? And even if he does, will it be enough? Because Suppe is so set up here. And look at this. Suppe is unrelenting. He's just going to slowly break through these walls and push in and take this town center down as well. As the Frost Giants just going to do what they do here. Got to be careful not to lose these infantry units when the Titan bashes this and denies this one. As maybe the Titan feels like killing off the markets wouldn't be a bad idea either, but I think might not be the best. As we do see the temple comes back up. 11 free shades come down. There is a little bit of a glitch with this, where if the shades don't get registered or they don't spawn, they just sit there and wait for the temple to come back up. I think it is by design and not a glitch, but you can use it in a very, very unhealthy and unfair way, because I think there is supposed to be somewhat of a limit on Hades shades. Anyways, the Rams coming into this position. Maybe Jaxx not going to be paying attention here. We see the units pushing through here. Jaxx at 130, a 130 population. As this wall over here is going to be taken down. The Titan moving over onto this position. As Suppe here might just want to throw a marker down over here or something, just to make sure he restarts it immediately if he loses all of them. As the portable Rams here going after this town center. As Jaxx not paying attention here. He's got villages. These Rams also taking down houses on this position. As we now see Jaxx turning around, he will take out these portable Rams. The town center will be surviving for the time being, but we're also seeing, while this is going on, Suppe saying, I'm going to take down the hometown center as well. The Ram raids are just in full effect here, as Jaxx's Hades town centers are just not a match for the multi raids coming through, trying to take down this town center of Suppe's. But Suppe is defending this nicely. He's getting more and more units coming through here. This Titan of Jaxx just not doing all too much. He manages to take down 2 markets, but there's still a 3rd market that needs to be killed here. And I imagine Suppe, with a market being thrown down over here, or over here, or over here, or literally anywhere here, we see this town center back up, and now Suppe is up to 4 town centers. Jaxx is at 1 town center, as he has got 9 villages gathering resources at the moment, with the donkey caravans as well. But he is in full panic mode. The town center over here does survive. The Titan coming over here to finish off the final market here. But look at this. Suppe's got 3,500 gold in the bank. That's going to survive. That's going to last him for a hot minute here, as more houses getting taken down. As I mean, we do see that Jaxx has managed to find himself a little bit of wood over here or something like that, but he needs to be rebuilding these houses, and it's just not working out for him. He's trying to get the town center back up. He's only got himself 5-6 villages here, as Suppe is slowly choking Jaxx now, as his units pushing into this Titan is being ignored yet again. We see the Hearser going over to the corner to rebuild that market there in the corner, as this Titan will be looking to take down this town center. Suppe making a little bit of a mistake not to have any myth units or anything on that one for the time being here, but I guess Soup's just saying, if I can keep this town center down, which he's not going to be able to, he's going to be in a good position here. But we do see the Hursa retreating back now, going to be going after the Titan. Maybe a bit of a misclick there by Suppe as he was trying to get those Hursa onto the Titan to finish it off. But this town center will end up falling here. Does Jaxx go up to full population? No, Jaxx has got no resources remaining as the battle of attrition is going heavily in the favor of Suppe here in this game. As the hero's trying to get rebuilt back out, the Titan coming over here will be able to kill off the hometown center of Suppe as well. But, I mean, Suppe's not going to care much at all about this. He should be able to rebuild this one here as well as this game continues along. Do we see any attempt at portable ram raids? Again, we are seeing the rams coming through over here as the units pushing in onto this position. Seeing if they can finish this one off or not. This Titan here sitting at 2,600 HP, ever so slowly getting taken down by the Hursa of Suppe. This town center coming back up as well. Got 6 villages, or sorry, 6 Olsark on it, so it's going to get rebuilt very, very fast here. As infantry still trying to hold on over here, Jaxx still feels like he's got a chance, but the marker gets destroyed. This is going to be this is going to put a hard stop on Jaxx's gold income. Jaxx has only got 300 wood now, and he spends the wood on something, so he can't even build himself a market here. He can't even trade for the wood. He can't even buy the wood. He's got no resources left. He's going to pick off another one of Suppe's town centers over here, which will put a stop somewhat to the trade route. But I feel like Suppe's going to get this town center back up already. As, look at this, it is up. This town center is on the way as well as more frost giants coming in. The units pushing through here, going to try and take down those infantry units there. As Suppe is demonstrating late game Norse theory to a T. The portable ram raids are just so obnoxiously strong here, keeping Jaxx on the back foot for the entirety of this one. We are going to be seeing that Suppe's town center will be falling. This frost giant is still getting good damage done onto the Titan as more Hursa going to come through and get some more damage done. Suppe doesn't need any villagers at this point. He can just make Ulfsark, buy himself a little bit of wood here, and he's going to be completely fine going forward. As Jaxx has managed to get himself a market up, but it's in a really awkward position. We see the portal ram does actually spot it as well here. As the Titan coming through onto this position. Going to be picking off a bunch of these trade caravans. I'm not sure it's going to matter all too much as he's allowing Suppe to get his town centers back while this is all going on. As the Titan's now at 1,000 HP, we see the infantry coming in onto this position. We see the rams coming through over here. These ox caravans, I mean, Suppe doesn't really need that many. He probably only needs 20, but going to lose the market. We see the market up in the corner yet again. The trade caravans can just simply move up to that position or move as far away from a town center as they want, and then drop off their resources or something like that. Now we see the home town center getting taken down again. This Titan here, 900 HP remaining. Suppe's getting closer and closer to finishing this one off. He can drop this town center whenever he wants here as the market is up. Trade caravans now can get started. As the town center here, ever so slowly going to get picked off, and Jaxx now saying the best option is going to be come back, clean this town center up and try and get it back for himself here, but he's still struggling for resources. He's rebuilding his villages here as best as he possibly can. He can still chop this wood line down, but he is kind of constricted to just that. There is this wood line over here, but there's a hill fort defending it. As the Titan comes back, and Suppe's just going to sit near his town center and try and pick this one off. Meanwhile, Suppe still hasn't managed to rebuild this town center. Now he's throwing it up. Still very low on the gold here. He's going to be trying to make a few more trade caravans out here. Wants to be closer to 30 trade caravans, I would assume. As the infantry moving forward here by Jaxx. Full infantry in the late game is actually relatively standard for Greek here. Infantry Heliopolis is kind of the best late game composition, but obviously Infantry Titan is also pretty good to boot here, as Jaxx going to push through and try and take this Titan down. He's got himself 788 HP remaining, slowly getting picked off as the infantry coming through. Some raiding cavalry Jarls coming in to try and take this one down as best as they possibly can here, as Jaxx is losing those units quite heavily here. Jaxx is sitting 150 of 140 population somehow here. I'm not sure how we... Oh, it's probably because he built the temple here. Looks like Jaxx is doing this, well, I don't think he's doing it on purpose because Suppe keeps killing the temple, but he gets up to that bonus population there, and now the Titan is getting closer and closer to falling. 130 HP remaining. Suppe is still at 3 town centers here at this point. Jaxx is at 146 of 130 population. We are seeing the portable rams pushing in onto this position, trying to take down some of those buildings there. And Suppe has to retreat ever so slightly, rebuilding these markets up. Got a couple of villages on gold, trying to get his gold income started yet again, as the trade route is moving to this hometown center. He needs to restart that one there when he can, as these Ulfs are going to be moving in onto this position, going to be looking to get some sort of trade disruption happening here. The Titan just about to go down, 12 HP remaining here, and that's going to be an interesting one. Does Jaxx have the resources to rebuild his population here? 130 population is what he's sitting at total, missing a house at this point, but the Titan is down, and that's going to be a little bit of a reprieve for Suppe. Will he be able to get this town center up or not is the question. It looks like this location over here getting raided quite heavily. We see some cash defeaties coming back out yet again by Jaxx to try and prevent this town center from coming up, and now effectively we're back to a position we were about 30 minutes ago, but Jaxx has got no good trade route. So I feel that Suppe has got found enough of an advantage here that he should be able to grab this town center back, get 4 town centers to 2 town centers advantage, and slowly be able to push in to this base of Jaxx. And beyond that, Jaxx has got no wood remaining. He's got no wood remaining, which means a very, very tough time as this wood income. You can buy wood for 218 gold, but you need a lot of gold income to make that work. As Suppe is just happily just chopping down all the trees on the map here in this game. Plenty of resources. You can see he's only got 7 villages on food here. Might want to produce a couple more villages onto food just to make sure that's going to continue going. As this town center here trying to come back up for Suppe, but he needs to pick off these units first. Maybe some throwing axemen wouldn't go astray here to deal with those hoplites, but I mean, beggars can't be choosers. As I think for the first time here in this game, Jaxx has actually overtaken Suppe in terms of score, but in the late game, score matters not. Matters what you do with your army. There's the walls over here getting broken down as Suppe's going to start going after the houses again. I love this. These cost 3 population. They pick off a house in about 5 seconds, and then you're just a straight advantage, and you can pick off a couple of houses as well as you're still pushing through. We see this this corner getting broken down, these walls getting broken down by Suppe as he's still trying to get this town center up, just being a little bit of a pain here. The cash feeders in the back, they're still going to be putting a stop to that here. Jaxx is at 120 of 120 population, really struggling here to continue to hold on this position. The trade route here for Suppe, I mean, he probably can stop this now. I feel like he's got enough trade route, but let's see if he's going to notice that or not going forward here, as the town center does get denied. Still pumping units in onto this position, still trying to put little raids in through here, picking off houses and the whatnot here, as Jaxx does realize he needs to retreat here, as I mean, his trade route is so tiny. He's got himself 22 donkey caravans and a plenty vault for his gold economy, which is not a lot when you're only getting 30 gold a trip. But his pacifists don't cost all that much gold. They only cost 25 gold, so he can maintain this this kind of level of production here. But I don't think that means that he can push out or not. As now Suppe's going to take this opportunity for Ulfsarks on the town center, trying to get that one up here. He does break through these walls over here, making sure that there's no cheeky shenanigans happening through that location there. As the cash graffiti's put a stop to the town center. Yet again, they do so much damage per arrow here. As the town center does go down. As Suppe, he has realized he's going to need a handful more villagers on food here. But he's put everything onto wood, so maybe he doesn't really need that much stop this production. Stop it. And you can buy food for like next to nothing here. So actually, for a little bit now, you can just buy food and he's going to be fine. But you kind of don't want to give your opponent the opportunity to do that. As these villagers here, long distance wood mining, feeling good about themselves as we see. Oh, cheeky shenanigans happening yet again by Suppe. As this town center is very, very open here, we do see the walls for Jaxx getting dropped back down there, but this is four portable rams going to break these walls down over here, still causing problems for Jaxx all over the place as we see an attempted hill fort on top of this location. The portable ram going to come through, knock this market down. Jaxx, he does have a healthy amount of gold in the bank for the time being, but this hill fort going up, the gastric feed is putting some pressure over there. This town center could be grabbed at any point here as the portable ram's trying to come through, but the villagers do spot this one right now as this portable ram going after the house is going to get a little bit more damage done. Meanwhile, market gets destroyed there. No trade left for Jaxx. And I don't see any help here for Jaxx. He hasn't been able to push out at all for the past, since his Titan died, but he hasn't been able to push out beyond his Titan for the past half an hour or so, as Suppe has just been literally strangling him for pretty much the entire game here. As the houses get broken down, and Jaxx's town center is going to fall here momentarily as well. Now here's the thing. These portable rams are good and all, but if he had the time to build 5 or 6 portable rams here, don't Huskarl cost 2 population? Is that the case? They do cost 2 population. So if he's got 6 rams, you probably have like 10 Huskarl. And now the villagers can't defend against those. Would you not do more damage with 10 Huskarl or something rather than 6 rams, or 12 Huskarl rather than 6 rams? Just saying, just a thought. Just a thought. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, killing off like walls is easier with the rams for sure. Now it looks like Jaxx is just falling ever so far behind in this game. We do see that was a market rebuild? No, still no market. Jaxx has got 0 wood, so he can't build a market here. The units come over here to defend this position for the time being, as now we can see that Suppe can start putting pressure onto the main town center. Jaxx is just going to continue going. He can't even rebuild houses at this point. Sitting at 48. Yeah, sitting at 48 wood. He can't build houses. He gets a little bit of wood there from something. I'm not sure where he's found that little bit of wood, but he finds that, so he can build a little bit. Moving his villagers out here to try and get a little bit of something happening, but Suppe's just going to say, not today. Gets his town center. Jaxx taps out. What an insane game here, ladies and gentlemen. Crazy amounts of resources, crazy amounts of units. Look at that, 1,200 units killed, 1,200 units lost, 1,300 units lost. Civilian unit count. Look at this here at the Fimbulwinter. At the Fimbulwinter, we were at 80 villages and we dropped to 50. 30 villagers killed in the space of 1 minute there. Suppe does exactly the same thing as he drops down to 60 villages. He made a ton of Ulfsark there as well. He did that over here at this point. I think maybe he didn't. Maybe he just lost these to the big raid, which Jaxx did onto his trade route. But look at this resources here. Just at this point, Suppe is just so far in front that he can just do whatever he wants here in this game. Jaxx does a nice job of not falling here at that point and managing to stay alive, but it's just the power of Norse here. Even if you are Hades and you can just stay alive forever, Norse just unrelenting in this game. I don't know what else to say. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.